We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Izuku, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, come on fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you on another new part of What If Izuku Had Elemental Heroes. This is part 3. Once again, thanks a lot for the love and support, guys. Also, a bit of a heads up, after this part, I'll be making a poll among those on who should I ship Izuku with in this What If, to be honest. So keep an eye out for that once this What If is done. Anyway, let's go that of a quick recap. In the last part, Izuku passes out right after basically saving, Bakugo, or rather, Elemental Hero Neo saving Bakugo, and is basically in between that of two worlds, in between that of the human world and the dual spirit world, and that of Neo's space, meeting that of his, favorite card, Elemental Hero Neos. Wondering on how that of the card even exists, how he's able to do so, and giving him the simplest answer is multiverse shenanigans, with a touch of ancient magic onto the side after all. So yeah, but with that, Izuku begins to train, develop his cards and decks, and on how to use that of Ba and Ka, and how to summon that of his dual spirit, his Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual spirits into that of this world. But he has some, stumbling here and there, with finally mastering it with that of a man-made dual disc. Now he's ready for the UA entrance exam. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? The months have now gone by, and Izuku has finished his 10 months of training with Ba and Ka, and also building that of his Elemental Heroes and Elemental Hero Neospatian decks as well. As he prepares for that of the UA entrance exam, getting up early, getting his clothes, getting his deck, and even that of his cardboard dual disc ready to go. However, as soon as he is about to leave, he looks back into his room and he looks onto his desk, as it looks like that of a small pack of cards made into a deck laying on his desk. As for some reason, he feels somewhat attracted towards them, but he shakes his head before walking home, as these cards being something that Izuku feels regretful making, but had no choice, but felt like he was obligated to make it. As he heads to the train station, waiting for that of the train to arrive, with then pulling out his phone, thinking, all right, if I take the train now, I should be able to make it to UA pretty early. Thankful enough that I live pretty close to UA after all. With then Neos appearing right beside that of Izuku floating, saying, lucky is an understatement. You're very lucky to be in the city on where UA is located after all, to begin with. Maybe you could call it fate. With Izuku scratching the back of his head before mentally saying to that of Neos, as they developed out of ways for him to speak to his dual spirits without basically talking to them in public after all. With Izuku going, I know, you could say it's fate, But even so, I wouldn't have known about this unless I knew about that of Yu-Gi-Oh to begin with, which I didn't until by complete and total accident. Given you're thinking like this, I'm guessing you're still feeling quite nervous, aren't you? What he's saying, is it really that obvious? As soon as Niels was about to say something, that's when the train finally arrives, with the conductor telling people to stand back for that of the doors to open and for those on the train to leave. A few seconds later, Izuku gets on the train before going through his phone again, as soon Niels appears once more, right behind that of Izuku with his arms crossed, saying, "Can I ask why you still feel quite nervous after all the things you've done to improve yourself?" Within, Izuku, looking out the window while speaking to Niels once again, as he can't help but comment, saying, "This is the most prestigious school in all of the country. Dozens, no, hundreds of applicants apply to this school every year, and only that, and it has a 5% pass rating, both for the written and also, practical exam. And I'm going to imply with that of a power that isn't even a quirk." With then Neo saying, "This again. Figures as much that this was what you were worried about. Izuku, you don't need to worry. It's understandable that you're nervous, but you worrying that you're not going to pass, that you're not going to give it your all, is nothing for you to concern. You trained and work hard with us. We all know on how you do things after all. So we can work with that of your style, and you work with us. Got it?" Within hearing that, Izuku can help but smirk, saying, "You're right. I got it, Neos. I gotta thank you." Again, with Neos saying, "No need to thank me. Just doing your duty as your signature card. Always putting you at ease no matter what." Within hearing that, that's when Neos fades. Before Izuku looks back at the window, before they'll arrive at that of the next station, which is most likely the station where Izuku needs to get off. Several minutes later, Izuku now gets off the station, walks across that of the street, before then noticing high up into the hill is that of the massive H-shaped school in the distance, that being UA High, with Izuku looking absolutely downright excited, right in front of the school of his dreams, what he's always looking forward to going, alongside that of his idol, All Might. Within, he remembers All Might's words all those, months ago, that it's impossible to be a hero without a quirk. With then, one voice saying, "Don't let those memories consume you, kiddo." As Izuku hears the voice, as it's quite feminine, actually, as he's heard this voice a few times, but soon saying, "Sorry about that, Bastinatrix," with the voice being Elemental Hero Bastinatrix, who materializes right behind Izuku, as she goes, You've trained so hard and worked so hard to get here. Don't let all that hard work be for nothing, Izuku. Got it? If Neos believes in you, we believe in you too. So you better not choke when you got the chance, after all." With then saying, "Right," as he said this out loud, with then everybody basically looking at him, with him nervously blushing in embarrassment, with another voice saying, "Out of the way, damn Deku!" But then he sees that it's Bakugo, with that of a scowl and everything, saying, "Hey, Kachan, sorry, after you, of course." Within him basically scoffing, before then realizing, he didn't hit me with an explosion, so I call that a positive. Within, Bastinatrix couldn't help but basically scoff, saying, "Honestly, I would basically burn him more than anything if I ever get the chance." With soon Izuku saying, "Bastinatrix, just remember what I said, kid. Hold nothing back. Got it?" As she soon fades. Within, Izuku couldn't help but basically smirk a little bit as he takes his first steps. However, as soon as he does, he hits that of a solid tile on the ground. Within, he trips over it himself, saying, I guess that's over. Sorry, guys. Looks like all that hard work you won for me is basically going to waste. However, as soon as he thought all this, he realized that he falling at all. Instead, he's floating with basically his feet dangling and everything. With seeing a girl with that of short brown hair and a bob cut with two large bangs on the side with rosy cheeks on both cheeks. And she couldn't help but say, "Sorry for using my quirk on you. You were almost looking like you were about to fall to the ground. And that would be bad luck on coming back here after all. So I thought it'd be a good chance to help you out. Good luck out there." As she soon places Izuku back to his feet, removing that of her quirk's effect on him, with leaving Izuku completely and utterly shocked, saying, I talked to a girl." Within, soon multiple female voices basically scream out, "Excuse you?" Within, Izuku hearing multiple female voices from one of them being familiar from Elemental Heroes Bestinatrix, and the other two aren't familiar except towards Izuku, who knows them. Within, Izuku say, sorry, that's not what I meant. Within, soon, Neo saying, you better get going. Don't want to be late, don't you, Izuku? With taking the words from Neo's as he just continues walking, having his head down and everything. A few hours later, he soon finished that of the written exam, which took a good few minutes or so, but he made sure that he doesn't think that he missed anything, or if he did, he doesn't think he missed too many, to be honest. Sooner or later, he gets out of a piece of paper, which basically gives him a seating number for that of the explanation for the practical exam. Soon as he finds his assigned seat, he realizes that it's right next to Bakugo. With Izuku feeling quite nervous about this, with him basically shaking, with Bakugo getting annoyed saying, "Why the hell do I have to sit right next to you, damn it?" With Izuku saying, "Trust me, I would feel the exact same way." With them, that's when the lights begin to dim down before a spotlight comes down towards that of the main podium and stage and below that of the auditorial hall. As soon materializing from the floor, from a hidden entrance, being a man wearing black leather jacket, pants, black combat boots, with that of a metal speaker around that of his neck, slick back, spiked up blonde hair, orange aviator sunglasses, and that of a blonde goatee, with basically an eternal smile on his face. Not on the same level as All Might, but still, as this being President Mike, with him speaking up saying, "Yo, what is it going, little listeners? You all pumped for that of your practical exam? Come on, let me hear it." As waiting for basically somebody to speak up, with it all being quiet, outside of Izuku basically sputtering to himself that it's President Mike, where he listens to that of his radio podcast show, with sparkles all around him and a look of pure and utter excitement, with Bakugo getting annoyed at this. With President Mike realized that nobody's going to speak up, saying, "Oh, so everyone just keeping it mellow? Okay, I can work with that. Now then, let's begin what you'll be doing for that of the practical exam. For starters, you were basically brought in here without just letting know about your seating order. You were also given that of a fancy little, information packet, which will basically explain everything what you'll be doing for that of the entrance exam. However, I'll give you at least a bit of a quick rundown for it as well. For starters, you'll be heading to that of designated zones where you'll be facing against that of villains." With hearing that, a few people couldn't help but feel a little bit worried and a little bit tense. Before then, he's saying, "But don't worry, these aren't basically real villains. These are faux villains, robots that you have to be facing against." Before pressing a button, as a monitor from the top with the UA logo on it soon turns into that of a presentation showing that of 4 robots. With one robot with a wheel, Gatling gun arms, and basically it looks like that of a mantis head. The other with that of a scorpion-like body with a, Gatling gun for a tail is worth 2 points. The other, that looks like that of a mobile tank actually, that looks like that of a tarantula with multiple missile launchers on the back, is worth 3 points. With President Mike continuing going, each robot is basically designated with that of points. There are 1 point robots, 2 point robots, and 3 point robots. The more robots you take down, the more points you gain, and more of a chance for you to get into that of the hero course. And as soon as President Mike was about to bring up something else, that's when a boy standing up that is actually quite tall with blue hair and square-shaped framed glasses saying, "Sir, I have a question to ask. It is very important," as from the tone of his voice, he's quite strict and basically quite rigid at that. With President Mike getting excited saying, "You got a word, caller? Let's hear it over the air." Within the young man saying, "Thank you, sir. Now, allow me to explain. I wish to know on why the fourth robot you were about to explain was not on that of the packet, which I have basically gone over multiple times. If this is an error within that of UA systems, that is unacceptable for such a prestigious school as this to have." With then Izuku mentally thinking, he's quite something. With Neos materializing over that of Izuku saying, he's quite uptight, to be honest. He doesn't seem like he's doing this in malicious intent. He just lacks that of information or basically free thought of his own. Not to mention, just as he said, President Mike was about to explain, and yet he decided to basically cut him off before he had the chance to, showing that this kid is either rash or he overthinks things, just like somebody else I know. As he looks down at Izuku, with Izuku feeling quite nervous at that. Before then, that's when the blue-haired boy points to that of where Izuku and Bakugo are. With then saying, "And you have been muttering this entire time, and it's been quite distracting to everybody else. If you are not going to take this seriously, then I suggest you should leave." With Izuku flustered by this, as he couldn't help but feel being targeted for no reason. Before then, a girl spoke up saying, "Excuse me, why don't you basically mind your own business?" With then, Izuku noticed that of girl's voice, as she's actually quite, beautiful, given that her school uniform is basically a white blazer with that of blue accents around it, and that of a blue skirt that's quite short, to be honest. But she's actually quite beautiful with that of her dark blonde hair, with that of the blue-haired young man quite shocked by this. Before soon, President Mike catch everybody else's attention again, saying, "Now, if everybody stop talking, and as for you, young listener, thanks for defending your fellow participant. As for you, other young listener, just as you said, I was just about to get to that of the fourth robot. The fourth robot is basically worth no points," which leaving everybody completely confused, even that of the blue-haired boy, as he soon goes into details about it, saying, "This robot is worth 0 points. Think of it more as an obstacle than that of a robot to defeat, like those overpowered villains that can basically overwhelm you, that you need to basically watch out for. Basically, nothing wrong with you retreating from it, actually." With hearing that, soon the blue-haired boy saying, "I see. Thank you for your information, sir. Apologies for my rude behavior as well," as he bows and sits back down. Within, the blonde-haired girl looking at Izuku, with Izuku looking at her too, with him blushing and looking back to the side, with her couldn't help but basically sigh before listening to more of that of the lecture. With then President Mike finishes saying, "And that's all you need to know. Now let me lay down some words of wisdom for that of you little listeners before you head out. From the words of Napoleon Bonaparte, a true hero is one who overcomes all forms of adversity. Those words live up to the very motto that UA is known for, to go beyond plus ultra." Well, even though nobody basically shouted out either, many of them felt actually pumped now. Even Izuku and that of his dual spirits felt even excited too, ready to overcome anything during this part of the entrance exam. As Izuku gets on that of his, test clothes, as it just being that of a, green tracksuit with a green jacket and, jogging pants on, he soon pulls out that of his, cardboard dual disc and brought it with him. As soon as he leaves, somebody noticed him with that of a dual disc, as they are wearing that of a UA uniform, saying, "Wait, is that what I think it is?" From their tone of their voice, they seem somewhat bored, but also somewhat, surprised at the same time. Can't really see their face, but you can tell that they do have dark navy blue hair. One, drives that of his location, with Izuku quite shocked and surprised seeing that the doors to that of the, practical exam area are massive, quite massive at that. With then looking at that of his fellow participants, as he noticed that many of them are, quite nervous, some are quite arrogant, while some aren't really, fazed at all. But then, Izuku looking around, noticing the girl that helped him with the brown hair, as she also looks nervous, with Izuku wanting to basically comfort her, but deciding not to, mainly from the words of Neos, saying, best not to interact with her. Within Izuku wondering, mentally speaking, why? Before soon, Neos basically points behind him, as he notices that it's Ida, who almost looked like he was about to move towards Izuku. Within, Izuku notices this, saying, crap. As soon, Neos couldn't help but huff, saying, the guy has had it out for you quite a bit since the beginning, especially since that girl defended you. Speaking of, she's also in this area as well. Within, Izuku noticed, seeing that the dark blonde-haired girl, who doesn't seem too fazed or anything, but she noticed that of Izuku before waving a bit, and soon just going off on her, and not even bothering looking at it again. With then Izuku blushing once again, but still realizing, I am so nervous. Within, that's when Neo's saying, so what do you plan on doing for this exam? Since you'll be mainly facing against robots, I think I can handle it pretty easily. Alongside that of the Neospatians. With Izuku thinking, personally, if I'm going to be honest, I think you and the Neospatians would be overkill for this. With soon, Neos basically, if he had that eyebrows, he would be raising one of them. With then, Izuku basically tries to explain, saying, don't get me wrong, Neos, you're perfect, absolutely, but I think overkill isn't necessary. I think I need to be more proficient and think things through more easier. But then saying, I get it now. You're thinking about playing this more safe, using that of, you plan on using the elemental heroes of the original elemental hero deck, aren't you? With Izuku realizing, yeah, ones like that of, Avion, Bestinatrix, Sparkman, Clayman, and Bubbleman would be perfect in a location like this if this is basically a city area after all. With Neo saying, agreed. But if you ever need help or you're feeling overwhelmed, don't be afraid to call on me, partner. Within, Neos fades as Izuku smiles, saying, thank you, partner. Then, that's when the gates finally open, with President Mike saying, go! With realizing that there is no countdown, as everybody soon basically rushes into that of the, battle zone, with even Izuku having to do the same however he had to adjust that of his cardboard dual disc, which was becoming hard to basically slide on, while running and fiddling at the same time. He soon pulls out that of his elemental hero deck, putting it into that of the deck slot, before then channeling his Ba and Ka, before then sliding out that of the pieces of cardboard to allow that of his cards to stay on, before soon drawing at least that of 5 cards, before noticing one of his elemental heroes perfectly for this situation, as then bringing it down to that of the front deck field, saying, "I summon Elemental Hero Avion!" As soon as he does, materializing in that of a bright light with winds flowing everywhere, is that of the green-winged Elemental Hero. As he spins around in that of the flowing winds before extending his wings out with a roar. Within, looking at that of Izuku, with him nodding his head as he begins to fly off, heading into the distance, finding that of a few robots already been destroyed then and there. Before then, noticing that of a 3-point robot, as soon Avion goes down and slashes into it with that of his claws. With soon the robot explodes before Avion flies up once again and soon goes off farther up into the distance. As for Izuku, he can feel the connection towards Avion, being that of an extension of his Ba and Ka after all. He sees what Avion sees and hears what Avion hears as well. Within, saying, "Good work, Avion. Keep up the distance. I know several people have already taken out quite a bit of robots, either due to that of their quirks enhancing that of their physical abilities, or some of them having that of a speed type quirk after all." With Avion commenting, saying, "Just remember, Izuku, you're going to need more and more of us out here to take them down. Just remember that." I know. That's why I'm already on it. I need somebody agile enough to handle places like this. And he's already in my hand with bringing down that very card he mentioned, as it being Elemental Hero Wildheart. Materializing that of the bright light, being Elemental Hero Wildheart, a Native American muscular man with that of red tribal tattoos, and also that of a large sword with his long black hair, and that of a ponytail, with him having that of a cloth sash and also barefooted as well. Within him looking at that of Izuku, within Izuku saying, "I know most likely there are going to be more robots in the alleyways. Wildheart, you know what to do." Within, Wildheart couldn't help but basically nod too, before rushing into that deeper into that of the city's alleyways. But as soon as Wildheart enters into one of the alleyways, he notices one robot, as it being a 2-pointer, bringing out that of his blade, as he soon cuts it in two without even stopping, as he sees another being a 1-pointer and then another 1-pointer as well, holding nothing back, as he jumps up into the air with a loud scream, cutting into that of a 3-point robot before cutting into it again with another powerful slash. With everybody completely shocked and surprised seeing the Native American, with a few of the participants wondering who the hell this guy is, as then he runs off and heads into that of another alleyway, destroying more and more robots. With Izuku noticing this, getting more and more into that of the fray, seeing many more robots already destroyed, and the wreckage is everywhere. Within, however, Avion and Wildheart are going ham on every last one of them pretty easily too, as he can't help but admire all that his elemental heroes are doing. Wanting to be safe than sorry, he brings out that of another elemental hero. However, this elemental hero would mainly be for protecting Izuku though, as soon he draws him out with then saying, "I summon elemental hero Solid Soldier," as then materializing in out of the bright light, within one fist coming out and another, as they having that of two solid gauntlets with that of a green gemstone in the center, like that of bladed gauntlets. Before soon coming forward is that of a man with that of a black mask, green eyes, and a silver spiked helmet. With then seeing his full attire being silver-like armor and a full black bodysuit. This being elemental hero Stone Soldier, with Soon he takes he strikes out of a pose with his one fist out and the other fist down below, crossed to his hip. With then looking at that of Izuku, as he soon bows his head and ready for combat, as he stays by Izuku's side, taking down any robots that come near him or any debris as well, as Izuku goes further and further into that of the zone. However, watching all of that of the applicants is that of the UA faculty, as many of them are actually quite impressed at what they see, with some of them quite impressed on the qualifications and abilities that they're doing to getting that of points. Some having that of powerful, magnificent, and flashy quirks, while some making up for that of the lack of, powerful quirks using reconnaissance, and surprisingly, even working together to basically take down robots as well, covering for each other's weaknesses. Even some quirks that don't even seem useful are actually quite formidable in combat. However, one of the spectators of the UA faculty, noticing that of Elemental Hero Avion destroying several robots within, as this faculty member looking like that, they have that of an astronaut outfit on, with you can't even see their face because of that of the blackened helmet. Within, as the voice sounds quite feminine or soft tone, saying, "Huh, that's weird. I don't remember seeing an applicant like that on the listing. Did somebody sneak in?" Within, somebody else noticing this, as a man with that of a blackened face and grayish skin, within realizing we also see another one, seems to be a Native American actually, with as seeing that of Elemental Hero Wildheart slashing through that of more and more robots in alleyways, as he soon lets off that of a battle cry roar before going further and further in as well. As a few of the faculty wondering if and basically people pretending to be that of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, cosplaying as them, snuck into that of the, practical exam. But soon, one person saying, "Don't bother, I'm pretty sure they're made from a quirk." Within, they hear a voice from that of the UA student that noticed Izuku with that of the dark blonde hair. However, seeing his face, he's actually quite handsome and that of a pretty stoic pretty boy kind of look, with his hands in his pocket before pulling them out and crossing his arms. Within a soft-spoken voice, actually quite curious and pleased, saying, "Ah, I see that you actually came to see us, Mr. Truesdale. I wasn't really bothering checking out that of the entrance exam until I noticed that one of the applicants actually had that of a cardboard dual disc." Within, everybody heard that before soon looking at the screens, noticing Izuku, as with that of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier by his side, defending him from that of a 2-point robot, before going towards it and giving it that of an uppercut, sending it flying up before exploding, before then giving a thumbs up towards him, with Zane saying that's Elemental Hero Solid Soldier from the Elemental Hero Archetype series. All of them are Elemental Heroes. And given that, he's the only one during this exam who's actually using stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it only makes sense they are basically connected towards him through his quirk. Hearing this from that of the young man known as Zane, with quite everybody in the audience and out of the hall actually quite impressed. However, one of them, on the other hand, a man with that of a, yellow suit, messy blonde hair, and quite a gaunt appearance, as this is All Might, part of the UA faculty right now, as he's also quite shocked and surprised, saying, "That young man from 10 months ago, I've been trying to find him, and yet I've had no such luck, but yet those abilities." As he remembers all those months back during the Sludge Villain incident, when he saw Elemental Hero Neos, as he doesn't see Neos, but he sees these creatures, these cards turn reality, as he realized What the hell? What the hell is going on? And why? Why do I feel like I can't turn away when I see that kid use them? It's unnatural. With that, all of the UA faculty are quite impressed, as they never thought that they would see a quirk tied to that of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, to be honest. But even so, many of them may have talent and may have powerful quirks, but that doesn't mean they have hero qualifications after all. It's time to test them in their character. Within the soft voice, getting a better look at them as they look like that of a, animal wearing a suit and tie. Looking at All Might as he soon shakes it off before nodding, flipping up that of a glass switch before pressing a big red button. Within, he looks around. He notices that of the sight of Avion and Wild Art. As he notices that many of them have taken out quite a bit of robots, he kind of lost a little bit of count trying to go back and forth between the two. But he is able to keep count of the ones that he destroys around that of Solid Soldier after all. Thinking to himself, hopefully that is enough robots that I can take out. I don't want to be greedy like maybe Kachan. I want to give others a chance to basically make it into UA too. As Izuku is about to remove that of his, cards from his cardboard dual disc, that's when rumbling begins to happen. Around that, the exam zone begins to shake, with Ben wondering what's going on. However, that's when Avion soon contacts Izuku saying, Izuku, we have a bit of a problem. With him hearing that, he looks through that of Avion's eyes, with Izuku completely and utterly shocked, as noticing above that of the sky is Avion, but below him is that of a robot that basically covers the entirety the provisional exam streets, as this is the 0-point robot, as the massive figure with the red glowing eyes basically terrify every last one of the participants for the exam, with Avion saying, this is the very thing that you need to keep a void from. Izuku, how close are you to it? But then Izuku realized, I'm pretty close, as he's standing right next to that of Solid Soldier, who is also looking quite freaked out too. Which he doesn't know the reason why, because I'm pretty sure Solid Soldier could probably slow it down. Outright beat it? Maybe not entirely, but definitely slow it down enough where it can basically get a lot of people out. Definitely. But then, looking at Wildheart, as he also goes to that of Wildheart, who is currently on top of one of the rooftops, with blade in hand, as he thinks, I think I can take it. Within, all of them say, Wildheart, no! With Wildheart huffing, saying, I can't have any fun. With Izuku huffing, before then saying, all the same, no reason to stay. As he was about to walk off and finish saying that no reason to stay here, he soon heard somebody screaming for help, leaving that of Izuku utterly shocked and surprised, as that of the tall, blue-haired boy with glasses runs past him. Izuku, noticing that of somebody trapped beneath that of rubble, as this being Ochako Uraraka, the girl that helped Izuku, basically helping him from not hitting the pavement after all, in front of UA, with him feeling a little bit conflicted, as part of him thinks that he shouldn't get involved. However, the hero in him, the one that refuses to see others harmed or even hurt, can help but step in and run towards that of the 0-pointer and the girl. But then he draws from that of his deck, before then seeing the perfect opportunity, I summon Elemental Hero Clayman! As then bringing out that of the massive clay-like soldier with a red helmet-like dome that covers his face. With then taking the pose with arms bend to the side, ready for combat. But then he tells that of Clayman to go and help out that of the girl alongside that of, well, Solid Soldier, with Clayman nodding and heading towards that of the girl, with Clay Soldier a little bit worried, but deciding to listen to Izuku's, well, orders too. With then Avion heading back to that of Izuku, before then drawing once again, saying, "All right, I play the equipped spell card, Cyclone Boomerang." With this, soon, Elemental Hero Wildheart is equipped with that of one of his signature weapons, being his Cyclone Boomerang. Seeing that the massive projectile weapon in his hands, he couldn't help but basically smirk, saying, "Well done, Izuku." Equipped with that of Cyclone Boomerang, gives him that of, well, 2,000 attack points after all. As he lets off a powerful roar, throwing the boomerang at the zero-pointer. As soon as it made contact, that's when the zero-pointer basically gets off balance for a bit and was about to hit that of the building. Before then, it goes back onto its feet, stumbled a bit, and stalled. With this, the girl known as Ochako, seeing this, saying, "Wait, did they just..." Was soon noticing Izuku, as she say, "Is he trying to help me?" As he draws again, saying, come on, I just need..." Within, he finally gets the card that he needs. With a look of pure and utter joy, he soon has that of a serious look. Then you could feel that of his Banka rage bubbling up inside, feeling both his spiritual and life energy reaching new heights right now. Within saying, "I summon Elemental Hero Bestinatrix!" Seeing that of, well, the pale skin and scantily clad red leotard and black and white Elemental Hero, as she stands right beside that of Izuku, with flames coating that of her hands. Soon, from that of his hand, he brings out, "I play Polymerization!" Seeing the iconic fusion card in his hand played out, within saying, "Now, I fuse Elemental Hero Avion and Elemental Hero's Bestinatrix to summon Elemental Hero Flame Wingman!" Coming from that of the light, and with a burst of wind and fire all around them, in all the glory of that of the, well, green skin, one-winged dragon arm Elemental Hero, Flame Wingman, as he flies up with that of his singular wing, with that of his right dragon-headed arm, standing out in front of the zero-pointer. Within, Ochako seeing that of the flying monster high up into the air, before Clayman basically carrying her in his arms. Then saying, "Clayman, get her back to that of the entranceway. Solid Soldier, Wildheart, Flame Wingman, you're all on demolition duty." Hearing that, the elemental heroes that stay behind are excited. With that of Solid Soldier heading straight for that to the zero-pointer as it begins to make his, well, movement once again. He soon basically stops it in place for a bit. A little struggling, he is struggling, but he's at least able to hold it off from continually moving forward. Within, Elemental Hero Wildheart and Flame Wingman are high up into the air, pouncing onto that of their now pinned down foe. With Wildheart sending that of his boomerang once again, striking it over that of the head this time, as you could hear that of crunching and crackling cross out of the zero-pointer. But not stopping there, Flame Wingman uses that of his special move, Skydive Scorcher, as he engulfs his entire body in that of flames, before then diving down into that of the zero-pointer, straight from the top of his head all the way down into the center, out of its chest. And just to be safe than sorry, opening up that of its dragon head mouth, before soon sending that of a powerful blast of flames from its arm, with it completely burning and melting away that of the zero-point robot, as it's basically nothing but molten slag. onto the ground. But then, Solid Soldier, no longer needing to hold it back any longer, steps back right next to Izuku before giving a thumbs up. And Flame Wingman also doing the same thing with that of his one normal arm, giving a thumbs up too. Within, Wildheart gives out that of a victory cry in celebration. With that, Izuku, for some reason, couldn't help but say, and that's game. Before then, blinking multiple times saying, huh? Why would I say that? I'm nothing like Jaden Yuki. As he shakes his head before removing all of his cards and putting them back into his deck. Before taking a sigh, saying, hopefully I don't get in trouble for this. As Izuku walks back, a lot of people notice that of the 0-pointer stopping and even how it basically engulfed in flames, with many of the applicants saying did that guy take out the 0-pointer? But then one guy saying, yeah, guess he had a powerful quirk after all, as one saying, hold up, I think those are Yu-Gi-Oh cards. With another saying, wait, seriously? Yu-Gi-Oh card? A quirk that affects Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Man, that is broken as hell. Within another one saying, but that's so not fair. But what was even the point of destroying the 0-pointer? Just to show off then? As more and more people begin to complain about that of Izuku, about him being a show-off, him basically doing it nothing just for fun, or just to basically demoralize them. Before Ochako was set to the ground, even though her ankle was a little bit sprained, as she leans on Clayman to keep her steady. Before then, Clayman soon disappears. As she realizes, as he goes off in sparks of light, she soon basically freaks out, before then being caught by somebody else saying, whoa there girl, that's not a good idea to fall. With then seeing that of the same dark-haired blonde saying, thanks, saying, no mention it. Within, Ochako saying, hey, by the look of you, you're a foreigner? But then she's saying, yeah, I am, actually. Name's Alexis Rhodes. Within, Ochako saying, I'm Ochako Uraraka. And also, I'm guessing you're a foreigner? Yep, actually. I'm an exchange student who took that of the, entrance exam. But then she's saying, you look familiar, actually. I don't know where I've seen you before. With then saying, if it's because that I look like that of a certain Yu-Gi-Oh character, I've been told that a lot back when I was younger. With then Ochako saying, yeah, Asuka Tenji. Yeah, like I said, I get that a lot. And seeing you were carried by that of an elemental hero Clayman, I'm guessing it was that green-haired kid from earlier that helped you out. But her saying, yeah, actually, he ran to help me when everybody else ran. If anything, I'm kind of thankful that he did, but given what happened, taking on a 0-pointer, you really think that something bad's going to happen to him? But then Alexis saying, I doubt it. Knowing this school and its faculty, a lot of people have forgotten what it truly means to be a hero nowadays. And I don't think they have, though. And given what he did, he definitely has what it takes to be a hero. With Izuku catching up with everybody back at the entranceway, feeling a little bit embarrassed and also being put on the spots with all the eyes and attention now on him now. With Ochako seeing Izuku as well, and she can't help but smile, wanting to thank him for what he did. Back into that of the monitoring rooms, the one known as Truesdale soon walks off. But then, him soon walking past that of a man wearing all black with shabby black hair and a 5 o'clock shadow. As the man saying, are you impressed? With then saying, that depends if he's even able to make it into the school. You know your little brother also applied as well. With then, him basically stopping saying, I told him not to. With then him huffing saying, you have nothing to worry about. He didn't get enough points. I figured that. As he walks off, not saying anything else to the man. With it seeming like this year may be quite something else. In his words, something else annoying. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. Yeah, you heard right. During this part, I'll be adding that of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX characters to this What If. Try and make things a little bit more interesting and add more character development for many of the other characters as well, and lore building too. Also, bit of a heads up, like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything else Yu-Gi-Oh! Related is basically an anime and card game, like always. However, the characters would be named by that of their, well, English translated names after all, instead of and referencing them from the anime would be that of their original Japanese names. So it makes things a little bit more interesting. Mainly so I don't piss off too many diehard fans that prefer to say that of the Japanese names and that for that of this What If after all. So yeah. At any rate, remember, after this What If and part uploads, I'll probably be making a poll on who I should ship Izuku with during this What If. So yeah. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to get updated my videos upload to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, other channel, side channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. You know what to do, my Shiro. Finish it.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!